everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing we are going to be doing some fun games. Big boy! I knew you were in here. Come here. Alrighty. So we're going to play some CS:GO. We don't have any mods. People keep saying you're modding and shit. I think it's bullshit, but
even if it hurts, I've been pretending nothing's wrong for far too long. Say it out loud.
say it tonight. So if everybody's here wondering.
Say the words, even if it hurts. We've been pretending nothing's wrong for far too long. Say it out loud, like you really mean it now, 'cause this is the last time.
told you I can play it. Fucking
Jolly Rancher in, make it sweeter. Besides some extra clothes, a little white horse. Black girl rolling out Molly. Got a white bitch snoring up snow. Said she want me on niggas in the party. Parents gon' leave the keys to the condo. Bitch close the door. This shit on your nose. She said she want more. She said she want more. So I'ma get more. Yeah, I'ma get more. Bitch close the door. This shit on your nose. Oh my god. She said she want more. She said she want more. So I'ma get more. Yeah, I'ma get more. I just put it in a leader. But a white bitch sniffing on Beaver. Are you sure you wanna party with the demons? Bitch looking for a phone, I ain't seen it. Cold frost, been the water, no Fiji. Free sticks, I pulled up and I'm leaning. I got a couple pussy niggas in the feelings. Cause the main bitch want more. Said she want more. Your girl is a hoe. You need to let go. She fucked on my bros. She snorting the snow. Now she touching the toes. She got hand in the cold. All in the nose. If they kick down the door, we gon' get locked for sure.
Yeah, bro, kick me. I'm not the one playing fucking annoying music.
Yeah, but he's my friend. I don't need to kick him. There's a mute button for a reason. They added it for a reason. Just mute him. It's simple.
I'm throwing smoke. Terrorists win.
Crazy girls got it poppin', AOD got it poppin'. Tryna text my account, ain't no service in the mountains. Won't you come to the bottom? Know you heard a lot about them. Heard they take that, then they change like a boomerang. I watch them take that, then they change like a boomerang. Pulled out of the hood, Toyota. Drove back to the hood, Lambo. Girl, chance.
Yeah, people who agree with me.
I just put an 8 in a lead. Throw some Jolly Rancher in, make it sweeter. Versace my clothes, a widow white horse. Snoring 3 lines like a Peter. A black girl rolling out Molly. Got a white bitch snoring up snow. Said she want real niggas in the party. Parents gon' leave the keys to the condo. Bitch close the door. This shit on your nose.
Look at that white kid singing in the pool.
She said she want more. So I'ma get more. Yeah, I'ma get more. Bitch close the door. This shit on your nose.
Don't say that.
She said she want more. She said she want more.
White,
so I'ma get more.
I'm gonna knock you out,
man.
Spell J.
Hey, I make music from my basement. I done came up and got famous. I'm the go and the replacement. 35
Are you
on my
serious?
Niggas is bitches, I don't fuck with niggas. I can't fuck with niggas like bracelets. Holes on my dick, I put gold on my wrist. Now my neck really cold like a penguin. I fight your bitch with this ice on my wrist, cause she see my dick hard like the pavement. I got that guap, now these bitches gon' flop. Yeah, I got your main bitch in amazement. Slaughter your daughter, no savage. Bitch, I'm the booty gang captain. She can't be mine, no, I can't waste my time, nigga. I be doing shows and traveling. Bitch, I'm throwed off like a javelin. Get your bitch gone just like magic. I see that booty, I grab it. Ugly got ball like a maverick. Just like a maverick. Watch it ball out like a maverick. Just like a maverick. Watch it ball out like a maverick. Get your bitch gone just like magic. Cause I ball out like a maverick. I see that booty, I grab it. Cause I ball out like a maverick. Just like a maverick. Watch me ball out like a maverick. Just like a maverick. Watch me ball out like a maverick. Get your bitch gone just like magic. Cause I ball out like a maverick. I see that booty, I grab it.
There's like the funniest shit going on in the chat right now.
That check on my wrist, on my nails, I got the sauce, you can't handle it.
Some dude playing fucking rap.
You suck, Jedi! Sorry, that was mean.
It's on split.
Ocean Park.
Wasting time on my own. All the places that we go. All this pain builds within. Footsteps fade, where could I be?
It's lighted.
Finally I feel more free. The end of you and me. Let it go, let it be. My heart belongs to me. My heart belongs to me. You're never gonna let me go, and I will never let you go. And now I'm feeling stronger, feeling stronger. Ooh, you're never gonna let me go, and I will never let you go. And now I'm feeling stronger, feeling stronger.
That's long. Dead.
Wasting time on my own. All the places you said we go. All this pain builds within. Footsteps fade. Who could have been? Finally, I feel more free. The end of you and me. Let it go, let it be. My heart belongs to me. My heart belongs to me.
You're like fucking dirty. Fucking bitch.
Is anybody gonna realize the person with the name changer on their team?
Yeah, I just don't care. Everyone's keep on that. Oh shit.
That kid back.
You gonna kick him? Look at his fucking inventory though. Why would you hack on that?
I'm gonna miss this.
Yeah, why? I don't understand why you'd hack
Is
on
he
an inventory like
invisible?
that.
They could be dupe skins, I
Swear
don't
to
know.
God, that looks fucking invisible.
I think it's just good.
Oh yeah.
I just killed him and he got dick. He's pissed.
He left.
Jeez. Nope. What the f? Nope.
Ah, you scared me, you mother, you know.
They're both too small.
Job, Dad. One place, you want to go on a comp later, buddy? You where?
I haven't played comp since the end of May.
Alright, it's okay, I'll play with you, you're doing good.
I'll play with you too.
I actually try, and I'm not, like, this is my Smurf account, so when I actually try, and I'm trying to rank up, I'm straight. I know there's not 20 fucking people.
I haven't seen a guy in like 3 rounds. Good for you.
Thank you. What?
spin. The guy playing music, kick him. Kick him. Kick him or I'll spin.
Do it, bitch. Spin buck.
I am. I'm kicking this kid. I'm spinning.
Do it, bitch.
We're all spinning now. Boom, spin, die, fuck.
Nigga, you just got dicked. Knife last, knife last.
Yeah,
knife last,
shut
knife
the
last.
fuck up. I'm not
Full
knifing
play.
shit, kid. Oh yeah, do it to me too, Zozo, you fucking cheating kike.
Counter-terrorists win.
Just kidding. No scope.
This is stressful. Incendiary. Laying down smoke.
This rat kid's cheating.
Going flashbang.
Okay. He's on A. This kid's AFK T-spawn, no one's saying shit. He's near the flaming car B-side T.
Counter-terrorists win.
Actually sick. Dumbass.
That one bullet hit him.
Any of you dads want to play comp?
Hello?
Man, what's up, man?
What's up, nigga?
Man, these niggas done came up in the motherfucking crib and got me for my shit, dog.
Any of you dads want to play comp?
Man, what about touchdown?
Then break read.
Man, quit playing, though, for real.
Hey, this
What's your rank on this account?
This account's on rank. I literally just got level 2.
I get on my alt. It's silver 4.
I think this is FCM.
If I get on my main, I'm level, but I don't want my main is bad.
What about your alt?
Silver 4. MG.
Just bad.
Let me go get some popcorn and then you can jump off the building. Okay, I'm ready. Jump off.
You gon' make a nigga like me catch a charge. You's a old nigga.
Alright, are we gonna play matchmaking? Or... Hello?
Please kick him. That's the wrong kid.
Come on, good run. Why with all those skins? That's so stupid. Don't peek mid. Don't peek mid.
Is their landing zone. Middle.
And they're seeking of the truth, but inside of me I know you hide. When you keep trying so hard, but you
but inside of me I know you hide it. When you keep trying so hard, but you get too far, leaving me behind. Oh, and I can't find you up in the sky. I just need a minute more and I'll shut that door again. But when I sleep unconsciously again, I'll follow you, and I can't find you.
Initiating goodnight sequence. Dispersing appropriate dosage of compound 347. Initiating phase 1 of memory calibration. This won't hurt a bit. Just close your eyes. Initiating goodnight sequence. Dispersing appropriate dosage of compound 347. Initiating phase 1 of memory calibration. This won't hurt a bit. Just close your eyes.
Greetings to all. Citizens of the world, we are anonymous. And we are angry. Anonymous finds it a sad state of affairs when in the year 2017, we still have Nazi party flags flying high, and terrorists still killing for the Nazi cause. In a country where we went to war and regrettably dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan to attempt to end this ideology, it is clear now that even a nuclear option does not work. On August 11th, more than 100 white men and women, carrying torches, marched at the University of Virginia, chanting "Jews will not replace us in blood and soil," and as they did, they surrounded peaceful counter-protesters near the statue of Thomas Jefferson, and began to beat them. There was little police presence. The following day, on August 12th, we witnessed what could have easily been called the Battle of Charlottesville. Early that morning, we saw militia members coming in with tactical gear, armed with loaded assault rifles, and standing by with riot shields emblazoned with KKK symbolism and white supremacist emblems. At every turn, the attacks began with them. Using brass knuckles, bats, and fists, they assaulted counter-protesters, clergymen, and those who wanted to take a stand against hate, in front of cameras, and in front of the nation. At the end of the day, we saw the result of that assault. A terrorist who associated himself with Nazi ideology and white supremacy took it upon himself to use his vehicle as a weapon. Using that vehicle, he drove into a crowd of counter-protesters, injuring 19 and killing 1. Because of him, Heather Heyer will not wake up to another morning again.
And we are angry. Angry because there is an administration in the White House that has sold its moral and ethical obligation to represent the citizens of the United States in exchange for individuals who believe they are simply better than those who do not look like them or follow their sadistic ideologies. We have witnessed once again the failure of the so-called president to lead. The next day, he releases a campaign ad targeting the press and calling them his enemies. In perspective, it took him more than 48 hours to call out these supremacists by name, and after intense pressure from his party and from the nation. It is clear that Donald Trump's allegiances are with the likes of Steve Bannon, David Duke, and Richard Spencer. Those who claim to stand for free speech, but only when it suits their agendas of hate. Those who believe that they indeed are the master race, and that anyone else deserves death. Anonymous has made it clear that it will not stand by as this bigotry continues to perpetuate. We are taking a stand against an intolerant evil that must be crushed. That is why we chose to engage Operation Domestic Terrorism, where we continue to take down both white supremacist websites and out those who share the ideology.
Last night, in our crusade against them, they attempted to discredit us, and that came in the form of one Andrew Anglin, owner of the Daily Stormer. We've covered in detail the events that led to the conclusion that Anonymous was not in any way involved with the quote hacking of the Daily Stormer website. It is true that Anon operatives were running attacks against it, but we were in no way involved with its defacement. This was a cowardly attempt by Anglin to discredit us and position himself as some sort of martyr for the supremacist cause. He failed miserably. With GoDaddy and Google terminating any partnership with him, his website is now in jeopardy and likely to be permanently shut down.
And in using our name, he has made us angry. We've contacted anonymous members currently residing in Lagos, Nigeria. If you value your life, Mr. Anglin, you will need to flee the country. We will find you. We promise. And to everyone else who shares the white supremacist ideology, and that includes the likes of Richard Spencer, Jason Kessler, and David Duke, you are not safe. The blood of Heather is on your hands, and you will pay for it in blood. Anonymous will continue to out these supremacist Klansmen and make sure the proper authorities are aware of who and where they are. We will ensure their employers take swift action against them. There are good Americans in need of jobs, and it would be a shame for Nazis to be occupying them.
To the Westboro Baptist Church. If you attempt to show up to Heather Heyer's funeral, it will be your last. Our campaign will not stop until your ideology of hate is dead and buried forever. You have all incurred our wrath. Our justice will be swift, and it will be righteous.
We are anonymous.
We are anonymous.
We are anonymous. You should have expected us.
Greetings to all our fellow citizens of the world. The United States prison system has been a costly and harmful failure in recent years. It has also become big business and a large source of revenue despite what the government claims. As of 2017, a combined total of 6,977,700 were either incarcerated in a federal or state prison or on parole, which means that the United States has the highest inmate population on the planet. Arresting and incarcerating American citizens has become the new slave trade in America. A large percentage of inmates work daily for a pittance. For the tycoons who have invested in the US prison industrial complex, it has been like finding a pot of gold. They don't have to worry about strikes or paying unemployment insurance, vacations or workers' compensation time. All of their workers are full-time and never arrive late or are absent because of family problems. Moreover, if they don't like the pay of 25 cents an hour and refuse to work, they are locked up in isolation cells. No other society in human history has locked up so many of its own citizens. The private contracting of prisoners for work fosters incentives to arrest and lock people up. Prisons simply depend on this for income. Corporate stockholders who make money off prisoners lobby for longer sentences in order to expand their workforce. This system feeds itself, says a study by the Progressive Labour Party, which accuses the prison industry of being an imitation of Nazi Germany with respect to forced slave labour and concentration camps. This multi-million-dollar industry has its own trade exhibitions, conventions, websites and mail-order/internet catalogs. It also has direct advertising campaigns, architecture companies, food supply companies, armed security and padded cells in a variety of colors. So what do these prisoners produce, you may ask? They manufacture military helmets, ammunition belts, bulletproof vests, ID tags, shirts, pants, tents, bags and canteens. Along with war supplies, prison workers also supply you with paint, paintbrushes, stove parts and assembly, body armor, home appliances, headphones, microphones, speakers, office furniture, airplane parts, medical supplies, and much more. Prisoners are even raising seeing eye dogs for blind people, all for $1/4 an hour. In the past few years, crime overall has gone down, but the prison population has dramatically spiked up. The reason why has already been laid out to you. The penalties for petty crimes has gotten worse over the past few years, such as one case of a man being incarcerated for stealing a car and 2 bicycles receiving 3 25-year sentences. The new passage of laws require minimum sentencing without regard for circumstances. Profits are so good that now there is a new business, importing inmates with long sentences, meaning the worst criminals. When a federal judge ruled that overcrowding in Texas prisons was cruel and unusual punishment, the CCA signed contracts with sheriffs in poor counties to build and run new jails and share the profits. Private prisons are the biggest business in the prison industry complex. About 18 corporations guard 10,000 prisoners in 27 states. The 2 largest are Correctional Corporation of America, CCA, and Wackenhut, which together control 75%. Private prisons receive a guaranteed amount of money for each prisoner, independent of what it costs to maintain each one. According to Russell Burroughs, a private prison administrator in Virginia, the secret to low operating costs is having a minimal number of guards for the maximum number of prisoners. The CCA has an ultra-modern prison in Lawrenceville, Virginia, where 5 guards on day shift and 2 at night watch over 750 prisoners. In these prisons, inmates may get their sentences reduced for good behavior, but for any infraction, they get 30 days added, which means more profits. While this pie chart provides a comprehensive snapshot of our correctional system, the graphic does not capture the enormous churn in and out of our correctional facilities and the far larger universe of people whose lives are affected by the criminal justice system. Every year, 641,000 people walk out of prison gates, but people go to jail over 11 million times each year. Jail churn is particularly high because most people in jails have not been convicted. Some have just been arrested and will make bail in the next few hours or days, and others are too poor to make bail and must remain behind bars until their trial. Only a small number, 187,000 on any given day, have been convicted, generally serving misdemeanors sentences under a year. This abuse must end. Anonymous sees through your deceit. We must work to empower the criminal justice reform movement. Until the United States prison system and affiliated corporations see the error of their ways. We are anonymous. Greetings to all the citizens of the world. It's easy to think of the political and financial elites who run our world as lofty and all-powerful. They command dangerous governments that can wield devastating weapons, central banks that treat our economy like a rigged casino, media conglomerates that pacify the minds of the public, and unbelievably wealthy corporations that have concentrated wealth to an unprecedented degree. However, they're certainly not invincible, and the systems of control that they've created are rapidly diminishing. Most notably, they seem all too aware of the fact that the global economy is headed for a crash. On the rare occasion where you can catch one of the elites in a moment of candor, they'll tell you that the party is almost over. Mohammed El-Erian is a bona fide member of the global power elite, a former deputy director of the IMF and president of the Harvard Management Co., yet he writes in a fairly accessible style on the popular Bloomberg website. When El-Erian talks, we should all listen. In a recent article he raises serious doubts about the sustainability of the bull market in stocks because of reduced liquidity resulting from simultaneous policy tightening by the Fed, European Central Bank, ECB, and the Bank of England. He says stocks rose on a sea of liquidity and they may crash when that liquidity is removed. This is a warning to other elites, but it's also a warning to you. Their actions are quite telling as well. Sovereign wealth funds, which are largely funded and owned by powerful governments to invest in domestic industries, are jumping ship. Among sovereign wealth funds, the Government of Singapore Investment Corporation, GIC, is one of the largest, with over $354 billion in assets. So what does the head of GIC say about markets today? Lim Chow Kiat, CEO of GIC, warns that valuations are stretched, policy uncertainty is high and investors are being too complacent. GIC allocates 40% of its assets to cash or highly liquid bonds and only 27% of its assets to developed economy equities. Meanwhile, the typical American small retail investor probably has 60% or more of her 401k in developed economy equities, mostly US. In other words, the investment arms of wealthy nations are pulling out of the stock market and out of companies in their own economies. developed economy equities, and putting their money into assets that can be quickly turned into cash. It's practically an admission by the elites that they think the economy is completely unstable. And let's not forget that luxury bunkers have become immensely popular, and that the super wealthy have also been buying remote retreats all over the world. Are they afraid of what the public is going to do to them when their phony economy crashes and leaves everyone broke? Are they positioning themselves for a crash that they know is coming? But this is just the latest warning sign that the elites are getting nervous. Corporate executives have been selling their stocks at an unprecedented rate for several months. Meanwhile, ordinary people are still placing their faith and their bets on a stock market that most experts agree is completely unsustainable. All of this suggests that the wealthiest and most connected among us know that chaos is in our future, and they're getting ready for it. Ignore them at your own peril. We are anonymous. Greetings to the citizens of the world. 3 Americans who had lives and families, who showed love to others and who should not have been taken from us, are gone. The hate groups labeled protesters were anything but that. They didn't want to express their constitutional right to demonstrate and protest. Instead, they wanted to inflict fear and target those who opposed them, to show them they could reach out and destroy what my brothers in arms in the military are us defending at this very moment: freedom. I was not raised to hate but to love one another. I was not told to physically fight people if and when they disagreed with me. I was told to work it out with reasoning, and if someone disagreed with my thoughts, that was okay. We are all entitled to our opinion. I know that the opinion of others is not the problem. The entitled opinion of others who think they are able to walk all over everyone else is the problem. They are ignorant of reality, and their minds have been warped by one thing: hate. We as a nation must not take steps backward at this time in history. All lives matter, period. Red, yellow, black, and white, all are precious in the sight of God. All life matters, and to put one's life above another's enough to the point of wanting to hurt that individual physically for no other reason than color, or belief, or anything else is to be a fool. You have been tricked by the great deceiver. You are on the losing side of life. We can't fix this nation with pent-up anger, hate, or aggression. All those things do is destroy. I call it as I see it. If you intend to hurt the people of this nation, you are no better than our enemy, who wants to do nothing more than spread hate and segregation, and tear us limb from limb until we are all divided. Let us not decline even further into a whirlwind of hate, blame, and violent actions against those who disagree with us. Are we so ignorant that we can't see what the destinations? The KKK wanted to destroy African Americans. Nazis nearly wiped out our Jewish friends across Europe. We should remember our history and try our absolute best to push forward, not back to the times of slavery and the Code of Hammurabi. We were all made in the likeness of our Creator, and we all need to come together. We need to stop the absolute hate because of the color of a person's skin. If you fail to see that, you are thoughtless like livestock to the slaughter. One life does not matter more than another life just because of how someone looks on the outside. Everybody bleeds the same color. We all need Jesus, the only one who can bring us together and unite us as one body, one mind, one spirit. This nation must come together. United we stand, divided we fall. Put away any thoughts of entitlement. Serve one another on the streets with one mind. Be the person who brings others together, not the one who causes damage or, even worse, loss of life in tearing us apart. I pray we can unite as one nation under God with liberty and justice for all who were created equal by God. I pray that the government of the people, by the people, for the people will work relentlessly to take the perspective of unity and not anything else. I hope this will help all of us find our faith, reclaim our faith, stay close to our families, and help us find our way through the darkness and into the light. God bless America and what it stands for: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We are anonymous. We are anonymous. Greetings to our fellow citizens. Liberal snowflakes across America will not be satisfied until every part of America's white history is destroyed and demolished. Over the weekend, the removal of the Confederate statue of Robert E. Lee was the flashpoint that brought together Antifa communists and white supremacists to Charlottesville, Virginia, that erupted into violent chaos. As the liberal media continues to remain focused on demonizing only the white supremacists, it's important that we take a look at what liberals are plotting, as Obama and his leftist groups are now using this incident in Charlottesville as an excuse to further erase America's history. It's important to understand the mindset of liberals when it comes to their American-hating agenda. Michelle Obama expressed the sentiments of the left perfectly back when her treasonous husband was in office, where she made the declaration that America must simply change its history as part of the ongoing revisionist history movement that continues to take over our nation. Barack knows that we are going to have to make sacrifices, we are going to have to change our conversation, we're going to have to change our traditions, our history, we're going to have to move into a different place as a nation, Michelle Obama said back in 2008. And changing our history is exactly what Obama and his swine have been working tirelessly to do. Not only did Obama drum up the anti-American sentiments in this country with his manufactured race war, but is behind the rise of communist and violent anti-Trump groups like Antifa, where he was busted for throwing billions of dollars at them during his last days at the White House. Now under Obama's command, these rabid liberals are doing everything in their power to erase America's white history, as evidenced by the ongoing destruction of relics of our founding fathers, who their left want systematically erased, and Obama's fingerprints are all over it. Following the incident in Charlottesville, the liberal media have been running a story where they're interviewing a random witness by the name of Brennan Gilmore, who was out helping victims who were injured by white supremacists during the protests and performed CPR. The hero witness that the liberal media has been obsessed with propping up is none other than a staged plant, as his direct ties to George Soros was just exposed. Leftists have managed to claim victory over the imagined evils of monuments commemorating the Civil War. Names have been changed, statues have come down, and the Confederate battle flag has been banned. Now, the left is going after our founding fathers. This is an incredibly slippery slope. All of America's founding fathers were imperfect men. Most were slave owners, and I have no doubt others were genuine scoundrels. Barack Hussein Obama's fingerprints are all over this, as he was the driving force behind getting these radical left-leaning groups into power in the first place by funneling billions of dollars to them during his last days in office. While the liberal media wants to remain solely focused on the white supremacist groups, we really need to take a closer look who's actually behind these protests, and the hysteria to remove these Confederate monuments. Right after the incident, MSNBC and other liberal media showed an interview with their hero witness who caught the whole attack on film and also performed CPR on an injured victim. But they never thought that their star will soon be revealed for who he really is. As Brennan Gilmore accused the racist Nazis of attacking the peaceful anti-racists, the liberals instantly used his statement to present the Antifa as a calm and dignified, unlike the out-of-control conservatives. But the left never saw this coming. Their hero is actually a State Department employee who has a connection with George Soros. Gilmore used to be the chief of staff to Tom Perriello when he was running for Virginia governor, and he received $375,000 from Soros during the campaign. He also worked 15 years as a Foreign Service officer the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Central African Republic, Sudan, Tunisia, and Sierra Leone, and was involved in the Coney 2012 operation. As Obama now appears to be orchestrating the chaos with George Soros, attempted removal of the Robert E. Lee statue over the weekend was just the beginning of chaos. The liberals Durham, North Carolina, ripped down another Confederate monument on Monday. After they had successfully toppled it over, the snowflakes proceeded to curse, spit and hit the statue with their shoes, reminiscent of third world country savages in the Middle East who have zero ability to express themselves other than acting like cavemen. At the end of the day, people on both sides are being used as useful idiots in Obama's ongoing plot for civil unrest in our country and destroying America's history. We are anonymous.
Your oracle, your oracle, your oracle, let me be your oracle. Your oracle, your oracle, your oracle, let me be your oracle. It's not what it seems, it isn't real. let it go. I see through your eyes, I see it now. Let it go. It's not what it seems, it isn't real. Let it go.
Sound again, with the Liverpool sound again, with the Liverpool sound again, with the Liverpool.